Yeah, welcome to this info session on the awesome team Movie Bites. My name is Bernd Zimmermann, and I had two problems when I was a manager. The first problem was I didn't have enough budget for more team development, so it was maybe just once a year offsite, but this was wearing off. And the second problem I had when I was the global head of organizational development for Siemens Healthineers. Siemens Healthineers had 5,000 teams. How can, with my small team of OD consultants, how can we roll out team development for 5,000 teams? Not possible at all. So this is when I had the idea together with Bradley Baker, to create something that teams can use throughout the year and in a very light and not very costly manner. And we will show you this all in a second. But first, over to Bradley.
Thank you, Bernd. And hello, everyone. My name is Bradley. And before co-founding this with Bernd, I was head of change and organizational development at 𝗧𝗲𝗺 Deutschland. And over the past 20 years, I've worked with teams both as a leader and as a consultant. And it's something that we've both worked on. I'm imagining you're working on this too, because you've got some challenges around team development. Maybe you're thinking there's challenges specifically sitting within your team, or maybe it's the team development itself that you're thinking it's really hard to get at, or we have a once or twice yearly offsite, and then the energy and the momentum starts to fade. That's what we're going to be talking about today, because between us, our experience, which is over 100 hours worked out of team development sessions, there's a consistent theme that we notice, and it really is that those classical annual offsites, that we have this huge momentum, but without the follow-up, without a rhythm, that energy fades very quickly. And as I'm saying this, I can imagine that you can relate to that experience. We've all been there, or many of us have. And especially that is only increasing with the level of complexity, the pace of change that our teams are experiencing. And what we've also, from our experience, seen that often the topics that the team really want to address are not able to be explored deeply enough in the sessions themselves. So that's where we started asking, what do teams actually want instead? We ran a survey to test some of our assumptions that you can see here in the middle, and the results were quite revealing.
Yeah, I think there the two of us really got hooked because we did a survey with several questions around, team, what's your team challenge? What's your experience with team development? How do you do it? Do you do it more annual or do you do it throughout the year and so on? And the funny or the interesting fact was we were asking team leads and we were asking team members separately. And there were some overlaps, but also some big differences. And it was so interesting to see that, especially from the team members, they were really longing for shorter, more continuous impulses. Both team leads and team members want real, tangible added value, not just an event character or team activities for nothing. What was also interesting, what stood out, that team members thought that different topics or other topics were more interesting for them and more relevant and more valuable than team leads thought that are the topics here of the team. And overall, especially team members, feel self-responsible for their team performance and also for their team excellence or for their team development, so to speak. So this is, I think, what really got us hooked.
And based on all of that, what we saw was a real opportunity. That what if team development was lighter, was more regular, more scalable? And what if AI could act as a more neutral structure, not to replace leadership or the facilitation that's so important, but really just to lower the barrier to the good conversations that's needed for team development? And that's how Awesome Team Movie Bites were created. This idea of having short, structured team sessions based on real use cases that teams actually face. And that's obviously coming from our own experience, but also from the survey that Bernd has talked about. We've got some really meaningful use cases that we've then applied and created some really meaningful modules, and we'll come to that in a moment. It's also about this curated content from Bern and I and the team behind us that was prompted by a digital avatar, and you'll see that avatar shortly. But the important thing as well is that it's run by the team themselves throughout the entire year. So important for that, to have that running the year round, is that it's grounded in a team excellence framework. So this gives the common thread supporting both the what of the team and what's important to be focusing on, and also the how. How is this going to, how does this mean we work together as a team?
And as Brady said, so it's all created by humans, by us. What we already see on the right-hand side is a glimpse of Clara. So she's our kind of third person in the room, and she helps us to visualize basically all the created content. And what are these use cases that we talked about? So together with the survey and our own experience, we came up with these 10 modules, as you can see. And these modules are then kind of woven into a movie-like kind of format, which is like enjoyable, almost like looking a Netflix series with your team together, but on the content of team development or topics that are interesting for the team. And you see here these 10, and the first 3 are in a starter package, and also we are testing them right now in the beta phase. So if you want to become a part of this beta phase, we will give you more information at the end. And the duration of these modules, depending on your team size and certainly how many team exercises a team wants to pick, maybe after the energy is really in the room for that, it can be between 45 and 90 minutes. So really easily integratable in your probably anyhow standard team jour fixes or longer town hall meetings once a month or once a quarter. And they're quite easy roles, clear roles for this format. So you as a team lead, if you're watching this and being the team lead, you're certainly kind of the host for all this, right? You are kind of giving the frame for this. You're sending out probably the invitation, and we have already pre-formulated invitation text for that for you. But then you really can step into the role of a team member. So you can enjoy the team development by yourself. And in addition, you get some information maybe later for one-on-ones, or you see probably things on the team dynamic side which you were not aware of. It would be cool if you get a team co-facilitator, so somebody from the team who basically, helps a little bit organizing this. And we didn't want to put this on the team lead because then you have too many roles as a team lead. But somebody who knows, what comes next, where to press start, and who looks a little bit at the timing. That's basically the role of the team co-facilitator. And then we have Clara, as we just saw, the AI avatar. She gives these structured impulses. She provides short theory inputs. She asks reflection questions, and she gives the exercises then that the team needs to do. And on the bottom, but basically it should be the number 1, is the team as the real engine of these sessions. So they really work with what Clara prompts them to. They bring in the real topics, they reflect together, they kind of make agreements or come to solutions, and are responsible also for the next steps. And you will find a video, an example in the links here below this this kind of post here. But to give you some ideas about screenshots and, for example, about the team excellence framework that we are using. So it's combining all the top 20 team success frameworks that are out there. We combine them into one kind of holistic yet comprehensible framework, which is basically, what does it need the team to achieve and how do we get to effectiveness and maybe some fun. And then there are exercises, for example, a team exercise or a team assessment on what are our strengths and maybe what are our challenges on this framework, either as a metaphorical passport kind of exercise or very analytical as a team assessment. So this is how the movies go. And then at the end, it's also about kind of getting the so what out of it. So what did we learn? What are our insights? What do we want to agree on, and what are the concrete next steps? What will we try out concretely, and what are the next steps? Again, example video, because this is just screenshots here, you can see in the comments.
So to make this truly self-organized and really simple to run, we built this complete plug and play. It's a package that has step-by-step moderation guides. It has a short mini training for team co-facilitators. So even if a non-facilitator feels confident to run this, and there's many ready-to-use templates. There's invitation texts, there's agendas, there's reflection prompts, and very much this concrete next step formats to make sure that there's something always coming out of the modules that you work through. And even the team lead, there's a clear welcome package so they feel secure in their role and how they're best to show up. And that's both for generically for the modules, but also specifically when there's some more deeper dive topics. And we want this to be accessible. So the starter package is normally 350. During the beta phase, with those first three packages, those first three modules, they are completely free. And all we're asking for is honest feedback and ideally a testimonial so that we can continue to improve what we're setting up here.
And basically the bottom line, it's free. And you even get more. You probably get Bradley and myself to support you and or the team. We can help moderate. We can be maybe a fly on the wall and give you some feedback later. Doesn't have to, but you even would get kind of the expertise of two human team developers with you in the room. And you see on the right the QR code. So if you have more questions or want to start this, book us here for an onboarding session or an info session if you have more questions. And we hope that you finally get a structured routine for your team to bring all the good intentions that you produce in offsites or want to produce in offsites into your everyday team life. We hope that this format will help you, or we are sure that the team will have much more efficient meetings at the end, and the implementation of things are running better because the team knows the dynamics, the interfaces, how do we solve problems, how do we communicate with each other, and through the kind of monthly or quarterly use of these modules, we hope that team development will be no longer kind of a competing thing to the real work, but that really the competencies of your team and the team development itself becomes what your team is really made for, and you really have this team excellence that you always dreamed of. So yeah, if you want to, we are happy to be your partner and looking forward to see you soon in one of the onboarding sessions. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in.